Hey there guys, this is Rogar, and this is why itachi is in danmachi part 3. I have a Patreon link so you can go support me there. I have a Discord link and I have a GoFundMe link. I am planning to do a 2 Patreon only series because I've decided on a second one, and that one I've actually already gotten most of the script done. So when I get edited, finished, and posted there, it will be announced. That being said, let's continue on with why itachi is in danmachi part 3. Itachi stares for a bit to see a 12-winged and-tailed black dragon, though its wings look more like crow wings. It seems to be influenced by him, he believes, since he does have the crow summoning still. It has piercing purple eyes. Itachi heard a voice saying, "So you're my master, huh?" It then took a very long look at Itachi. It started to blush a bit heavily, saying, "My name is Cercio." Itachi smiled, saying, "Hello there, Cercio. I am Itachi, but I think you already know that." Cercio nodded. Itachi asking, "So I take the old man wants to talk soon." Cercio nodded again, then speaking up, saying, "I really don't know what I can do, to be honest, and what will be unlocked now that I am awake. But I do know one thing about myself already." Itachi looked and asked, "What do you know, Cercio? This may be helpful." As all of a sudden she started turning into a beautiful woman with long flowing black hair down to her waist, with a very mature looking figure with the curves to match, and a black ombu outfit that made her purple eyes even more piercing. Itachi thought about it and realized the outfit she got from his memory. Speaking up, saying, "So you can change your form at will, correct?" Cercio nodded, saying yes to any human or other race form I choose. Though I'm still bound to that dragon form whether I choose beast type forms, monster type forms, or anything of that nature. But so far I like this one I've made. Itachi nodded, saying, "I see. So let's start to understand one another. After all, we're going to be partners for life after this. Though I gotta start training Bella tomorrow, though." She nods, saying, "Yes, let's get to know each other better, my master." Itachi laughs and says, "You're part of me, so please call me Itachi." She blushes a bit and says, "Alright, Itachi." He then awakens to see it's still early morning. He decides to walk to the nearby bookstore that he and Hestia go to at times, since it's open this early, walking in to see the usual elderly man there. Itachi nodded, and he nodded back, knowing what he needed. Itachi started to scan the bookstore with his Sharingan, and quickly found 14 books about dragons and one about this mythical one-eyed dragon, picking them all up, grabbing a cup of tea from the old man, thanking him, and going to the sitting down area. He started flipping through all the books. He can tell that his dragon is a fusion in a sense. It's pretty much mostly his world, but there's clearly some elements from this world thrown in. It seems to always pay to be a prodigy, as usual, Itachi thought as he was understanding this so quickly. Finally finishing the last book and his tea, he was about to leave, but sensed 4 people turned to see Riveria, Tione, Eyes, and Leafia, the members of the Loki family. They all looked at Itachi and started to blush a bit, but Tio came running up really quickly, whispering, "Hey there, Itachi, how are you?" He smiled, saying, "Hello, Riveria, Eyes, Tiona, and Leafia." "And I'm doing fine, Tiona. This is what I'd call a wonderful morning, wouldn't you agree?" They all say hello back as Itachi gestures them to sit down. As they do that, he sees they have various books on them. They all seem to have mostly magic-related ones. Tiona has mostly hero-related ones, and Eyes, oddly enough, has a book on potato croquettes. That's weird. Must be her favorite food, Itachi thought. It would seem he's very thankful that he learned from Hestia how to make those, since he told her at some point he would decide to help. One of these days. Girls noticed what Itachi was looking at, seeing his book stack all about dragons. And one of them speaking of being Riveria, dragons, are you interested in them? Tachi seeing a bit of hatred appear in Eyes, thinking, so that's what drives her hatred. Tachi pondering for a moment, then saying out loud, "If I tell you, you 4 will have to take this secret to your grave. Because if word got out, foolish people would try it and die doing it. Do you all agree?" They all thought about it and nodded. Tachi quickly slapping a privacy seal under the table just to make sure the conversation stays between them, and just in case. Tachi started to speak. I told you all about my people's magic, correct? They nodded. Tachi continuing, saying, well, we have a way to seal things in containers, so I'm researching dragons for that reason. After hearing that, Varia was pondering, then saying out loud, so it seems that your people placed one in a container, by how you pointed that out. So, may I ask how that's possible? Tachi answered by saying, well, first we can seal anything, various objects, living beings, and mind energy. You can see how useful this is, especially to a mage in your quality. Varia nodded. Continuing, Itachi said, second, it depends on what we seal, what type is needed, and what its container will be. There are many different types of seals and containers for this reason alone. We're thinking about then putting it together, saying that means even a person with this magic can be a retainer, correct? Because you never said it was limited to anything. Itachi nodded. This caused the other girls to give a very shocked expression. Itachi saying, the reason I'm researching it is because a monster was sealed within me. All I know it has 12 wings and 12 tails. It is a dragon. Now, this is something done by my people to get stronger. Since a person sealed with it generally can gain unique powers from it. I've only found out about it recently, though. And given how there's nothing on it from my people's end, the second best thing I could do is try to learn from what has happened to me. In some cases, some people might say I was sacrificed to it, but I believe it's better to learn than play a victim or pretend that I'm some kind of sacrifice. They all have various reaction to all this. Sharing a singular thought from the group is how cruel they can do that to anyone, especially since Itachi's so kind-hearted to everyone. But looked up and asked, so, do you hate them for it? Itachi smiled. This is where he was leading it to. He wants to help Eyes, and he knows this is the best way to do it. Responding with, no, I do not in fact. I still love them. After all, they are my people. Whether I like it or not, even after what I have done in my long but short life in this world. He smiles a bit, making Eyes blushing. Her internal thoughts, it seems whenever she's talking to Itachi or with him, a black flame of hatred that seems to consume her so much, always going ways. She finally puts everything together in her mind and thinks to herself that he's right. If I want to get stronger, I'm going to have to learn to let this go no matter what. Tachi, Ain's getting all her thoughts together, nodding her head and saying thank you for answering my question, Itachi. Then makes a sly smile, saying, so, are you a potato croquette fan? Is that your favorite food? I shook her head like a crazed chipmunk, with stars in her eyes at that point. Itachi smiled, saying, well, I know how to make some. If you want me to, before he could finish, Eyes immediately darted up and started dragging Itachi away by the collar. All the girls going after them and in their heads saying, that's not fair, Eyes. And she started to drag him to the church, but he quickly asked her to let him walk. With the rest of them following him, as Tione quickly clutched her body to Itachi's other side. The look Itachi got from him were of envy, seeing so many beautiful women around him. And the women were giving death glares to the girls around him, thinking how dare they break the code of the Itachi fan club. There was nothing they could do about Hestia, Belle, or especially Freya, because you don't want to mess with Freya. But how they would have to add the Loki familiar, possibly every member to the list, this is getting too much. Tachi opening the church doors to get a glare from both Hestia and Bella, without both saying in unison, it seems you're having fun. Tachi answered, why yes, I am. I met them at the bookstore while researching. It's nice to meet wonderful good people in the morning, and don't you agree? As the Loki girls blushed from that comment. During all this, Leafy was questioning whether she loved Eyes more or Tachi. Vera was thinking, why am I acting like a 16-year-old girl with a crush? I am over 90 years old, for God's sake. Tiana's thought process is, I'm making a mine. Or else. I was just thinking, I want my potato croquette now, please. After getting out of their grasping Bella and Hestia, He explained to him what he's doing, and he's going to be making potato crickets for eyes and asked the rest of what they would want. They all said that was good enough for them, so he said okay. As he is saying, I've actually this before, but would you like to work on the stand for the day? You'd make a killing with your looks. Tachi answered, maybe later. He soon returned with enough potato croquettes to feed everyone. Tachi speaking up, saying, I will be right back. Thought of a good gift for someone. He leaves, appearing right next to Freya, with her wondering where Tachi went. When she felt a tap on her shoulder and Tachi saying, here, handing her a potato croquette, she freaked out at first but smiled, saying, thank you so much, Itachi. He nodded, saying, you're welcome, and disappears again. Freya thinking, well, I know now he can do that. That's something I didn't know. Taking a bite, and her only thought was, no fair, Hestia. And that dang bell. Can you eat this level of divine tasting food every day? And she starts having tears of joy drop from her eyes. She starts to savor every little bite after that. While Itachi was gone, they were all taking a bite. I see about thinking, yep, same divine level food as always. First thought was, okay, I'm seducing him. Should probably start reading books on that, hopefully. Previous thought was, crap, I'm more in love with Itachi now than eyes. Tiona thought, how can he be this perfect? He's strong, kind, and amazing cook. What else is he hiding? Ida's only thought was, he's mine. But their shared food thought between everyone was, this is truly divine level food for them. Tachi returned. Before he could say anything, Eyes immediately grabbed onto his side, saying, you're my husband now. This shocked everyone, but Bella and Hestia quickly got over it, darting up and trying to rip Eyes off. To no avail. Tachi just grabbed her and lifted Ainz up and placing her back down in her seat, looking at her for a second, and then asking why. She didn't say anything, so he said, okay, how about this? I will accept only if we get to know each other better. And again, why are you asking this all of a sudden? I just finally put her thoughts together, saying, simple. You're nice, strong, and make divine potato croquettes. That's all I need in a man. Tachi hearing this laughed a bit, saying, well, that's weird, but I'll not hold anything against you. So how about this? I'll give you a set for the whole family, and a bunch just for you. Nice. Well, that Loki girls were leaving with mountains of food, but Rivera stopped saying, by the way, in 2 days, I'll be free. If you are too. And Tachi nodded, saying, that will work. Back at the Loki manor, everyone was getting ready for breakfast. When the three walked in, with 3 mountains worth of potato croquettes, it seemed. The one was for eyes only, because she was eyeing it with hearts in her eyes. All of them looked at him really weirdly and were very finally speaking up, saying, it's a gift from Itachi, who met him earlier this morning. So the mountain, the biggest one there, his eyes is only. They all nod like mad people. They all know, never touch eyes' potato croquettes or you're dead. We've actually had to bury 3 members because of this. After getting it all set up and becoming a small feast for everyone, basically, this made every girl in the family more smitten with Itachi, some having more specific thoughts than others. Tione, Tiona's sister, was like, I have to make his heart beat for me. Loki thinking, okay, I'm loving this guy. If he can make great moves, I'll consider him. Anna Kitty Autumn was thinking, he's so good looking and he can cook like this? He's too good for this world. What the hell? Alicia Forsyth was. First thought was she wanted to kill or beat up Itachi for seducing Miss Freya. But after this food, she's thinking if she can get attention. A young human named Evie Colette, I think she's human, was thinking a beautiful girl like me can make friends with everyone. I should get his attention to be a good person. Lane Arison, a human girl, was thinking, here I thought I had a crush on Bete, but to be honest, after I hear what Tachi did to him, seeing how he's been acting lately because of all this, and following this, it's true, I have a bigger crush on Itachi. Now, everyone was enjoying this amazing breakfast, and Rivera was talking to Finn between bites, saying, oh yeah, you can give Itachi your proposal in 2 days. Finn asking, oh, may I ask why? Rivera responding with, I'm going to be helping him train his familiar member, and getting some training for him as well, since he did say I could use his magic. Finn nodded, saying, that's great to hear. I can't wait to get him on our side for our next dungeon exploration. With all the girls secretly screaming, "Yes, you are the woman, Riveria," in their heads. Has taken Belle outside of the city to train her chakra control, but he's going to unlock it first. Saying this to Belle, what I'm about to teach you is my magic. But I phrase it that way to explain to others easier. What it is truly called is chakra. Tachi waited for a moment, seeing Belle nod to confirm she's ready, and she will follow along. Picking the conversation back up, saying, "Now I'll explain great to you. It is when spiritual and physical energies combine together. The amount you can release is limited by the 8 inner gates in your body. This is a form of life energy as well. Everyone has it, even you, but not as a huge amount as you possess in this world. But since it's life energy, once we unlock it, if you use it all, you will die. Now, what I'm going to do is unlock your chakra pathway, so that you can perform actions such as jutsu, in taijutsu, genjutsu. It's things I can and will teach you once you get better control over it. But first, we are going to also do stamina training, since this is a combined form of both energies, like all things. You have a maximum chakra as well, but you can increase this maximum chakra, but it's limited to the quality and strength of your genetics, or in simpler terms, you. Mine is like an Mine is an endless bottomless pit, while yours is like a small ocean that's bigger than a lake, but not as big as the vast ocean. Once we unlock it, I will teach you the control exercise that is the leaf concentration practice. Do you understand so far? Rather than not saying yes, you've explained everything very well for me to at least understand, mostly. Hachi smiled, saying okay. He walked up and began to open Bella's chakra network. Once he finished, he asked her a quick question: "How do you feel?" Bella responded, saying, "Better. It's like I can feel things I could not before." Tachi smiled, saying, "That's good. Now, let me show you the exercise. Your job is to keep this leaf stuck to your forehead by focusing your chakra into a focal point. It's that simple, though it might take you a while to learn it. But we're going to have all the time in the world right now, Bella. I'm going to inform you about today, and I will be going once you start getting the hang of it." Bella nodded and understand. About an hour passed, and she could finally hold the leaf for about 30 seconds. Seeing this, Itachi said, "Good. Now keep trying that up until you can hold it for 2 hours, and we'll move on to the next exercise." Bella nodded as Itachi handed her a piece of paper and disappeared, appearing to the guild as crows. Shocking most people there that were new, but most of the old ones knew the legendary Itachi had arrived. Even the rest of the guild followers were secretly excited to see him. With Itachi walking up to Ina saying, "Good morning. I brought you something," and taking out a croquette, a steaming hot potato croquette, handing it to her, saying, "I made these this morning after I had a chat with a Loki familiar. I think you'd like one. By the way, is tomorrow a good day for that?" Ina nodded, saying yes. "I was hoping to talk to you about it today." Itachi saying, "That's good to hear. I'll see you later." She nodded and handed him a piece of paper very quickly before anyone could see. Itachi once more disappearing into a swarm of crows. He had taken a quick bite out of curiosity, thinking, how can someone be this good at everything? With her having such a blissful, happy look, making the rest of the girls of the guild extremely jealous. That she got free food from Itachi, and it clearly was probably some of the best food she's ever had. He reappeared in front of Belle and watched her for the rest of the day. When the sun was going down, Belle was nearly exhausted, even with proper breaks from all the training and everything she's been doing. She asked if she was doing alright, though. Itachi nodded, saying, "Getting to 40 minutes in one day, it is good. It means you have talent." She blushed a bit and thanked Itachi. He picked her up in a princess carry, which caused her to become a blushing mess, returning them home. Waking up in the next day wearing a normal outfit, he tells Bella to train today since he's going out to find things for them. Sorry. Essie and Bella being extremely mad since he's technically going on a second date. Tachi laughed a bit, saying, "Well, the next time why don't I take you two out on an eventful technical date later?" The blush saying alright, but he has to promise them that. But Tachi nodded, saying he promised. Leaving, going to the fountain where he waited for Ina to finally come up in the outfit she had in the anime. Tachi telling her she looked very beautiful. Ina blushed, saying thank you, so let me show you the place you can get gear for your family member more within your price range. So you get thinking, how can he be this good looking in normal clothes? While on the way to the tower, the level of lust and pure hatred she could feel from every woman was insane. Her thoughts being, yep, this is the anger and lust that women have for the guy after he famously rejected 6,000 confessions. Let's be honest, they're pissed off I'm technically on a date with him. One for me, one for Bella. I'm going to win this fight. Tachi thinking, why does this always happen to me lately? Seriously, it seems I'm sensing hostility all the time now. Sighing about it, going to the tower and going up to the elevator to the showroom floor, seeing the prices on display. Lowest being 10 million to the highest being 30 billion vows. Seeing this was part of the smithing family of Hephaestus has, and from his knowledge and network he's created, it has the power over all the market evolving weaponry and wealth. Most smiths generally go to her familia if they can get in. Tachi speaking up, saying, I see, you wanted to show me the high end things, but most of this is complete and utter garbage, though. A door opened what looked to be a half dwarf woman, Itachi thought. She had brown skin, long black hair, red eyes. She covered her left eye with an eye patch. She was wearing a accessory that barely held her impressive chest back. She was also wearing a red hakama with sandals. Itachi thinking, maybe she's from the east. She walks up saying, so, you're saying my whole family is garbage? Itachi smiled at her, make her blush a bit, but think yourself, wait, why does he look so familiar? Miss Francis, no. It's just I could tell this would never last at all. Or forever. For an adventure, for one simple reason. She looked at him and asked, what is it? Answer simple. If this was made for a strong adventure, it would never work for him. Something like these would break easily by the forging method used, in my opinion. The dwarven girl laughed about, saying, you're right. These are just mostly display models, but most people can't tell the difference. Just then, a red-haired woman coming out saying, she's right on that. Hello there, I'm Hephaestus. The fourth girl spoke up saying, my name is Tatsubaki? Tatsubaki. But everyone just calls me Tatsubaki. Or, sorry, Tatsubaki Colorbrand, but everyone calls me Tatsubaki. Sorry about that. He smiled, saying, I see, I am Itachi. Whereas many women have come to name me the Curl Prince. Seriously, still don't know why I got that. With him smiling with a slight chuck and causing the woman around him to blush a bit. Hephaestus coughing, saying, well, Max, may I ask you this? How could you tell that easily? Are you a smith? Itachi shook his head. No, I can tell because I've trained myself to notice any detail, no matter how small. For example, I know Ina's nervous if she's clenching her hands 3 times. Ina looked at Itachi, shocked, saying, you noticed that? Itachi simply nodded. She fell a bit harder for Itachi more after that. That moment seemed to go on forever, but Hephaestus spoke up, breaking her out of her daze, saying, well, then, how about I and Tatsubaki here teach you sometime how to swing a hammer? To be honest, with that level of skill you just shown about your ingenuity, it'd be a good thing for you to pick up. It's saying, I would like that. So, where are we going now? Ina, with him tapping her forehead, making her blush, saying, I'm going to show you the cheaper shop since you guys are still starting out. They leave. After a few minutes, Hephaestus saying, so, that was Itachi. Oh, I hope Hestia wants to share. Tatsubaki smirks, saying she's going to learn how to, right? They both look at each other deviously. Since it seems they want a piece of Itachi, too. Since he proved his worthiness alone to the blacksmithing women, realizing those were just display weapons. Going to an armor shop, and Itachi going through all the work he could find, finally finding one by this Viola Crozo. It was a perfect fit for Bella. It was lightweight and could get good protection. He smiled, picking it up. See that Ina walked over saying, "You found something good for her?" Tachi smiled and nodded. Setting Ina's heart to overdrive, he walked up and paid for it, and they returned to the fountain. He motioned for Ina to sit near him, which she did. Itachi then pulled her head down into his shoulder, which Ina was not complaining about her position, and she knew the women seeing this was going to start spreading gossip all over town within the next hour. The sun was setting, and Tachi handed her a necklace with a green gemstone like her eye. She looked at it saying, "How did you—" "No, I know how you knew at this point." And Tachi laughed, saying, "I saw you looking at it as we passed by. So I tossed the man some money and bought it for you, Vecino. It's pretty like your eyes. Take it." She nodded. He then placed it around her neck, with Itachi saying, "This is a gift for helping me and Bella so much the past few weeks." He tapped her forehead, picked her up in a princess style, turning into crows, disappearing, thus causing all the women in the area to break, saying, "I'm done for the day." Many of them walking away from their jobs, and others just going on broken and sad. This did spread in an hour, like Ina thought. They landed right in front of her apartment place that the guild gave her. Tachi saying, "Have a wonderful day, Ina," even lightly kissing her forehead. Ina walked back into her apartment completely happy in such a dazed state. So happy about today. Now, when this reached the Loki girls, to them it was like, okay, we are now doing everything to seduce him. Essie and Belle were mad at him, but stopped the second they ate his cookie, remembering, ugh, you can't stay mad at the man for long. And he had then heard a bang in the middle of the night, seeing Rose and Misha at her door, with very angry faces, saying, "So, you had a date with a girl, Prince, huh? We're gonna have a nice long girl talk about it tonight, aren't we? And we're not losing to you at all either." Next morning, Itachi and Belle were walking. Bella was still a little mad about Itachi since he technically went on a date with Ina and she hasn't been able to get one, so she's now falling behind her in their little rivalry. But when she saw the armor he got for her, she completely mellowed out about it. Now they're in front of the Loki familial home, with the guards actually saluting Itachi. Bella thinking it's so obvious they want something from him, sighing not just internally but outwardly, saying to herself, but learning from the legendary Rivera was something only Itachi could give her. So she was going to stomach all within her power to do so. During this short time period, Itachi's been learning more about Cercio, and so far it's increased his chakra amount to an insane degree. If Naruto's normal chakra amount was 10 times the norm he had originally, adding this, including the new amount he got, he's almost had a bottomless supply of it. They've also learned it seemed one of the things she could do involved shadows, maybe darkness. But since Itachi's not been fighting in the dungeon, it's going to take a while before they could figure that out. Going into the common room for the dining hall, you see eyes looking at Itachi with very hungry looking eyes. He internally laughed, pulling out a small bag of potato croquettes. She immediately dashes forward, taking one out, biting into it to her hands. Eat it happily. With that, Rivera came down saying, "So you're a dog now, huh?" Ice just nodded, not caring about what she said, or anything for that matter right now. Tachi saying sorry. I thought you'd like some, so I brought some with me. Ferris smiled sweetly, saying, "I know she loves her potato croquettes, so did everyone else." And Tachi nodded, saying, "That's very good to hear," as the cook. "Oh, we are here for the magic training. From what I sense, everyone's waiting out back already." Ferris saying yes, well, I have to see what you can release to get a good feel of what you both have. If that's okay with you. I know since this is actually really just for her, pointing to Bella. Tachi nods, saying it's alright. Bella sighing, saying, "Okay, so no holding back on my magic, right?" Very nod. Bella grinned, saying, "I still need to learn congruent chanting, but trust me, this is probably the only thing I can do that I can be very proud of, except around Itachi as usual." Rhea wondered about it and just nodded her head, without all of them going back. Most of the people seeing eyes eating a potato cricket, thinking, lucky. Finn walked up saying, hello there, Miss Bella, is that correct? So it's nice to finally meet you. Bella shook Finn's hand, saying, yep, and it's nice to meet you, Mr. Brave, who's still a single boy. You really need to learn to take a page out of Itachi's book. With her giggling, and the other Loki familiar members actually smirking and trying not to laugh at that comment, and saying something I should do, to be honest. Tachi saying, okay, Bella, now I have taught you the basic knowledge, but let's see what you've been pouring into on your own during your training sessions when I'm not around. She's not only been working on chakra, but all the other training he's assigned from her to her up to this point. Bella and I were very saying these are training dummies designed to take high level magic. I assume it's alright that with both of you? They both nodded. Bella saying, okay, I'll go first. After all I need to do is this. Taking a deep breath. Vera was shocked she was in a complete calm state, and she was slowly tapping into her mind energy, filling it out, making sure not to take too much. She was leagues above Leafy at her at that age. She could tell she was going to be a very good student for her. After a while, Bella opened her eyes, shouting, Dark Bolt, hitting the dummy and leaving a small hole in it. Then Bella started to chant, as Vera could feel massive amount of mind being used. And properly, she might add. Bella saying, O great darkness, bring her the end. Thee who shall show all oblivion, whose touch is eternal, that we may know its blessing and curse. May the world m- may the world face our wrath until the bitter end, great darkness end. I've also changed the chant because it sounded better this way. As it engulfed the dummy, completely erasing it, shocking everyone there. That's something only Rivera could do, usually. Belle was panting pretty heavily, saying, Don't worry, Tachi. I used that 3 more times before lying down now. Tachi smiled and patting her head, making her happy, and pissing the rest of the women off. Fed thinking, dang it, I've got to learn how to be that smooth. Tachi saying my turn, saying Dark Bullet, destroying half the dummy. Tachi then sang Eternal Winter, hear my call. Freeze and destroy all before me. Frozen devastation. With spikes launch out of his hands and from his feet from the ground, shredding the dummy into nothing. Seeing this, Loki familiar saw not only was it Bella young but a promising magic user, Itachi was basically at various levels of basic knowledge. It was beyond impressive for them to see. Freya blushed a little, realizing that sometime Itachi could be her equal. No, could surpass her. That made her really happy. And she had another great student with Bella, so she walked up saying, I got a good grasp of your powers. I can start training you both in with more advanced methods today. You're going to teach me about your magic as well. And Itachi nodded, saying yes, but let's do it in the afternoon. They all walk off towards the library, leaving everyone with their thoughts. Before the girls realize that Itachi is gone with Rivera, and they know they do not have a chance to talk right now. It makes them pissed off. But Finn's seeing this saying, I'm going to ask him to join the expedition, so you'll have plenty of chances to talk to him after this. Making them all happy. Finn turning around and thinking to himself, well, I just threw Itachi under the dungeon. After getting some magic training to Barrington what he needed to do, and get Bell where could be instructed every morning to their expedition, since they talked about it. Tachi said he would join them he's since he sensed she had something to talk to him about earlier. And started her various training with the chakras. She was struggling, but started to get the leaf exercise down. By the time they had to leave, she had 20 minutes, though Bell was just 5 minutes away from starting the next 5 minutes away from starting the next exercise. By the time they had to leave to get 5 minutes away starting the next exercise, at the door, Finn walked up to Itachi, noticing most of the familiar was hidden behind the doorway. Before Finn could speak, Itachi said, If you need help for the expedition, I will help you after I approve the plan, because obviously you're going down there with the fullest intent to get to that floor. But I need intel before fully accepted. As I said before, without knowledge, your good is dead. Finn nodded, saying, "Thank you for that." Tachi, he smiled, saying, "No problem. But remember this, once I'm on that expedition, I will treat you as my family, and I'll keep everyone safe." He walks away with Finn, saying, "I wish there was more people like Itachi out there in the world. Don't you agree, Loki?" As he kicks it back to the couch with her getting up, saying, "Yeah, yeah. As you struck gold with that guy. Next time he's over, I need to get his opinion on booze." She cackled at that thought. Itachi was making food as usual. After he fell asleep, he was forced into his mindscape with Cercio, with a voice entering both her heads. It's time for the first power and challenge. What seemed to be a shadowy figure appearing, saying, and Taco no whatever. I'm done. Okay, I hope you guys will enjoy this one. I will try to record the other one here in a minute. I hope you all enjoy this. This is Real Guardian signing off.